And very nice, coming back to the wall. And I like the angle of the cord. You can see the trajectory that I'm holding her in keeps her hips up well. And she's extending every time. That's real important, and working on her long extension. Okay, another thing you can do is, like we did with the Bassett trainer when we kicked off the wall, just to teach the positioning of the kick. Put the feet against the wall like you're kicking back in breaststroke, then release and carefully come back to the wall and do a couple of reps of that. Let's watch Micah do this. This isn't for power, this is just for technique and understanding how to use the whole leg for the kick, get an ideal kicking position, then push off. I'm holding a little bit of resistance, but not a lot, and giving her plenty of leeway to come back slowly and carefully so she can reset those legs. And I'm holding her a little closer to the wall while I do that, so she feels a little pressure as she pushes off, and I'm going with her so that it doesn't hurt her, and then bring it back slowly. Excellent. One more time. Little resistance as she leaves, and I'm giving her that resistance as she goes off. You got the idea. Kind of a timeless standard I've used before too is to take the pool, especially when you get there to early morning practice or you're there when nobody else is at the pool, you can swim across the pool rather than with the lane line. For breaststrokers, great way to get them to feel the proper depth we're looking for in breaststroke is to swim under the lane lines. And what Micah's going to do now is, as she swims her regular breaststroke stroke, she's going to extend her line, and as she does, she's going to drop the head down so that it goes just under the lane line, have the neck be near the lane line, and her lower back as she glides underneath. So she's basically going to swim breaststroke under the lane lines, but only an inch under the lane line. She's not going to dive way down. Let's watch her. Just push off carefully, slip under, breaststroke here, and go right to your line, but you want to be right under that lane line and the lower back. If you can do that, if you can have your neck and your lower back be just on the lane line, that's an efficient breaststroke. You're not doing any excess up or down. If you went up too high, you would end up hitting the lane line with your forehead. If you go down too far, you won't be able to get up in time to get over the next lane line. So good drill here for everybody. A couple of key points in breaststroke is establishing the breaststroke line. At the end of the day, the pull is somewhat important, the kick may be a little bit more important, but connecting the two through a proper body line is really critical. One of our coaches, Russ Castle, he uses the 4H, head, hips, hands, and heels. Align the four, the hands, the head, the hips, and the heels. If you have all those in line at the end of breaststroke and you hold that line, it's going to make for a much more efficient and ultimately faster breaststroke. So swimmers do like toys, and the ultimate toy, of course, is floaty toys in the water. Well, there's a lot of inner tubes at facilities, and for a long time I've used taking an inner tube and put it at the waist and have them swim breaststroke that way. It's a great way for young people in particular to understand the concept of keeping the lower back high during breaststroke, because they're getting that flotation. At the same time, you have to coordinate the timing and have that tube right in the middle. So it's serves a bit like a seesaw when you're swimming in the water. One of the things, as she's extending, she'll actually really feel the downhill part of breaststroke, and we do want swimmers at the extension to not just be straight. We actually want them to travel their line slightly downhill. Okay, let's watch Micah try this. Got her fun little inner tube, and she's just gonna swim breaststroke with the inner tube. Her hips, you can see how her back stays dry the whole time. And she's laughing, which is even better that we laugh when we do that. Excellent, excellent. You can turn the tube quickly into another drill where she puts it up at her armpit level, and she's pulling breaststroke to remind her not to pull too far back. Gliding in breaststroke is the key. The difference between a 100 breaststroke and a 200 breaststroke and some good drills is the amount you glide. It's the same stroke, but you ride your line a little bit longer. And efficiency really comes during that time in between. So this is a 3-count glide. It's an exaggerated glide. Even a swimmer with a fantastic kick wouldn't glide this long in a race. But to teach the patience in the stroke, you want to have them do this 3-count glide stroke. Just ride the line for three seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003. 1001, 1002, 1003. 3-count glide breaststroke is just a patient way to travel in breaststroke and emphasize the legs, the power and efficiency of the legs to ride through and get narrow with that upper body. In the spirit of 360 swimming, really, which all our strokes we want to be balanced. So one of the ways is to do vertical breaststroke swimming. You can do vertical kicking, to some degree vertical pulling. But vertical breaststroke swimming works well because you can really take one stroke each time and sink back down, reset, do another stroke. It helps with that, the big grip in the water, and just changing the angles of pressure can help the breaststroker to feel different nuances that might help them race better breaststroke. You'll notice as Micah does this, she drops down, sets up her body line first, kicks through, comes up. Lets herself drop back down, sets back up, comes through. And basically, if she fell off a cruise line, she could probably do this for a couple of hours. This is a comfortable thing for her to do, and yet she's working on her best possible stroke. Good. What I also like about this is it keeps her head in line. You'll notice she's doing this vertical swimming breaststroke. She's not touching the bottom. She's going down, her body line resetting after her fingertips get underwater. That's when she begins her pull. That's her cue. Also, her body's staying in line. If she stays in line, she won't move forward or backwards a whole lot. Again, in the spirit of 360 breaststroke, we're going to turn her upside down, swim under the water. This should be deep water swimming, and she's going to swim breaststroke upside down for about 5 or 6 cycles underwater, trying to do the same exact stroke as if she was on her stomach. You'll notice before the upside down breaststroke, she put on a nose clip because that makes her more comfortable underwater. Nose clips is a good training device and sometimes a good racing device. This upside down stroke, everything's the same as if she was on her stomach. And in swimming, as an athlete, we want to be able to do things in a variety of different ways. Very good. Okay, one of the reminders for breaststrokers is we want to keep the angle of the breathing forward tilted. Okay, we don't want to lift and look down the pool. If you can see straight down the pool, if you can see the other side of the pool, then you're not looking the right way. We don't want to have our head up like this. We want to keep the neck nice and long and in line. So we come up to breathe, we want to keep this head in line. The goggle drill will help you, remind you to keep the head down. So she's going to go one stroke flat, perfectly flat in the water. 2, she's bringing her goggles, just her goggles out of the water, but not looking. And then number 3, the third stroke, she's going to bring her nose out of the water. And what happens when you bring your nose out of the water? Look at the space you have here to breathe. Nose out, you have space to breathe, so she's going to get a little air there. Do this controlled. This is a goggle drill. Okay, she does goggle drill. She does a stroke flat. The second stroke, she'll bring her goggles out. Third stroke, she actually brings her nose up. Flat, goggles, and then her nose. This is reminding her to keep the head tilted forward and continue to swim downhill with her line. Anytime you're lifting up like this, you're going to get stuck by the head and then eventually by the arms as well. Well, now she's flat on the pole, just stays flat. Next time she brings her goggles up. Next time she brings her nose up and she gets a little air. Flat, goggles. So that's the sequence. Standard breaststroke drill is 2 down, 2 up. This goes back to really Mike Behrman. I remember making this kind of popular, but it's a two strokes underwater, just like you're on the surface, except that you don't have to lift your head up at all. This will be a very fast way to travel. I like the swimmers leaving the wall with 2 down rather than on the surface because they really feel that speed. When they go in here, they punch, and then they go to the surface and extend. So underneath, we want to punch into that short line. As she pushes off, 2 down, and she punches into that line. Very nice. And then she'll come up, just only go, when she goes down, she's only going down about 10 inches to 12 inches, not going way down underwater. She does this well. Okay, on 2 down, 2 up, she's going to punch into the line on the bottom. Boom. Kick right into that line twice and go toward the surface with a slight lean. Stay on the surface for 2 strokes and down underneath. Punch that line. Punch to that narrow line and then lean to come up and 2 strokes. Outstanding. Nice drill combining fly and breast is 2 strokes fly, 2 strokes breast. And really what we're looking for is to keep the same tempo and rhythm with both strokes. Typically in races, butterfly is going to be swum at a slightly higher tempo than breaststroke, so syncing them up can be more of a challenge to the breaststroke than to the fly. So let's watch. 2 strokes fly, setting the tempo, and 2 strokes breaststroke, getting forward. You notice on this fly stroke that she's landing and sliding that hands forward and then going into the stroke. She's not rushing into the breaststroke stroke, and being patient about the exchange. Very good. A lot of the drills we do get named after a swimmer. Carla Wilson was a swimmer at Auburn back in the day, and we found this drill that helped her. Carla drill is basically a relaxed way to swim breaststroke. So it's going to go right arm, single arm fly stroke, left arm, single arm fly stroke with a dolphin kick, then go flat on the surface, 2 breaststroke strokes. What I want to see is create that line right on the surface of the water, no up or no down movement. You get your air when you're doing your fly strokes, symmetry because you're breathing right, breathing left, and then punch that line right, surfing on the top of the water with the 2 breaststroke strokes, and then repeat that. Carla drill again. You're going to go left and then right, stay on the surface. 2 strokes right on the surface of the water. Just get comfortable swimming on the surface. Now you're going to get your air. You get the hips up for fly. Position yourself downhill to start the breaststroke. Keep that line on the surface. Very good. Okay, this is a drill. We're going to go 1 pull, then 3 dolphin kicks while holding this line. Okay. The reason we're doing this drill is not so much about the pull. It's not about really even using fins and the dolphin kick. You know what it's about? It's about getting used to being here. Because too many breaststrokers, too many swimmers aren't disciplined about staying out in front and tight on breaststroke. Okay, every little bit of elbow bend here, every little bit of compromise to the fully extended position slows you down. I can't emphasize that enough. So when you hit your line, hit it narrow, try to get your body to disappear like you're going inside that cone, like you're shaping to a full extension, extending downhill. This drill will emphasize that. As Micah does this drill, she's going to do 3 kicks in between every pull and just hold that tight line. Disciplined about this, and this is something that Micah's worked on improving from the time of the last Olympics. Just holding the extension out front, surfing the fingers forward. She's not overlapping a streamline. Lots of variations of drills you can do. This is 3 kicks, 1 pull, 2 kicks, 1 pull, 1 kick, 1 pull, and then cycle back through that. You're gonna go 3 kicks, holding the body line, 2, 3, and then take a pull. Now 2 kicks. Now 1. You go back to 3. Just work that cycle. That set works. That kick set works well, long course especially. Okay, the pull out in breaststroke's incredibly important. It's also something that seems to be constantly changing. Before we used to do the dolphin kick, the 1 allowable dolphin kick at the bottom. Now it's moved toward the top. Looks like the rules might even be moving toward multiple kicks. But in any event, what you want to understand is that the key is when you push off the wall, you don't want to break your body line too much. When you push off, you maintain this body line. So any big movements like this, when you're traveling at the speed when you leave the wall, is going to slow you down immediately. So you want to hold that body line coming off. Anything you do should be small and involve popping that line. The pull out is similar to a butterfly underwater pull. So if you look at me from underneath the pool, I'd start here with a good streamline. Before I slowed down, I would go up high, grab the high corners, then I accelerate underneath, getting narrow, pulling my shoulders in to be as narrow as I could. Then as I recover, I creep my hands up along my body, touching my shoulders, sneak my hands up, and keep my head down as I kick to the surface. That's what a proper pull-out looks like. We'll have Micah show a top kick pull-out first. Pushing off in our line, top kick, pulls through, keep the head down as she pulls out. Micah Lawrence is a world-class breaststroker. When she swims at race pace, she looks like she's actually swimming easy. That's one of the characteristics of great swimmers. They're traveling very fast, but looking pretty darn easy. That's one of the things we're looking for when we're developing race pace swimming, is we want to be traveling fast, but we want to carry all that efficiency that we're gaining from the drills on the video into the whole stroke. So now we're going to do a 50 at 200 pace, and I'll time her just to give you an idea of what the speed is, but she's going to look real strong. You notice even by my just saying pace, she gets a little antsy and gets excited. So racers are like that. There's nothing wrong with racing and looking forward to the opportunity to do some races and hit pace. Rotation on the wall was 1.1. That's about a tenth too slow, so she needs to improve on that. Come up narrow, lift it up a little bit steep out of that. Our tempo per cycle right now is 1.79, so right at 1.8, which is her race tempo. Very good. That's 31.3. If you put 4 of those together, that's a pretty good 200-yard breaststroke. Interesting, she didn't accept 31.3, so now she wants to do it again. She's calling it out. And this is what, understand, this is what racers do. When they're not satisfied with something, they do it over, sometimes over and over and over again. But when you're thinking about technique or racing or at times results, don't be afraid to try things over. Go ahead, Micah. Good luck. She wants to see a 30 point. And I would say it's not critical that we get too crazy over what our watch says. The watch may be the last thing in career development that's critical to the long term, because technique certainly wins out. But when you reach the level that she is, an Olympic level, she has expectations for being able to do certain things when she's ready. Shooting this video, she's been in the water for several hours now, and so she's not really warmed up for going fast, but she still wants to see a fast time. 31.0, so close again. I'd like to thank you for letting me share this information with you. It's been great to be able to break down the strokes, put them back together with whole strokes with these outstanding young swimmers. I hope that you can take this information, apply it to your swimming to allow you to be the best that you can personally be.
Hello, my name is Jeff Dugdale. I'm the Director of High Performance. We invite you today to join us at David Marsh Performance in SwimMac, Carolina. Our camps and clinics are designed to identify, create, and implement highly intentional pathways to excellence. If you are a motivated athlete or coach, we invite you to join us as we have lots of ideas and solutions. Contact us today.